Shalom. Let me get straight into this lesson. I'm going to get into one of the most important videos you're going to see in your life, considering prophecy. And everything that we've been saying through the power and spirit of Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shah, according to the Holy Scriptures, is true and tested. And it's going to be revealed to the people. So it's a blessing to be in a congregation of the truth, the brethren and the sisters, because this thing is getting ready to go down sooner than later, and that's why they are putting a digital footprint in place. The infrastructure is already here. So I'm gonna tell you about this video right here. Let me show you this first. So this video is 2 minutes, and it's one of the most important videos you're going to see in your life. And let me jump back and show you who this guy is so you can understand the video better. So I'm gonna jump back here. I'm going right back to that video. So this guy here is Richard Wiener, Warner. It says German Slovakia economist. It says Richard Andres Warner, Wiener, is a German banking and development economist who is presently a university professor at the University of Winchester. You see this? So you know who this guy, he's connected in that banking world. Deep, you know. So let's go back here. I'm going to show you what, and I gave you the backdrop of who he is. So he understands, he's been in those circles of the elites, the bankers, the Rothschild, Rockefellers, the Warburgs, even names that you never heard of before. And they all are J people. You're going to have to read in between the lines of what I'm saying. And it's one of the most important videos you're going to see in your life. So everything that we've been saying is the truth, whether you can comprehend it or not. That ain't on us. We're giving you a message through the Bible, Revelation chapter 13. What's that, 13 and 10? I'm going to get into that scripture as well and give you some clarity of what that means. So this is all in the scriptures. So check this out. I want you to intensely pay attention to what he's going to say. All right, check it out.
Have reacted to the truth coming out. They admit that they've been telling porkies, and now they propose to increase their power. So central bankers belatedly admit, now that you've mentioned it, yes, banks create the money supply. Let's abolish that now. And also, by the way, let's abolish cash. So what should we do? Well, introduce digital cyber currency that central banks issue and control, and thereby gain total control over all economic transactions, decisions, and the whole lot you've just heard from the CEO of the GDI. So the greatest concentration of central banking power in history is really the bid they're aiming at. That's the central bank's goal. And of course, digital accounts of dissenters and regime critics could be switched off. It'd be very difficult to even purchase necessities. So this is an Orwellian dystopia of total control, the end of any freedoms. That's really what central banks are aiming at. Several central banks have, like the Bank of England, already prepared their microchip implant, RFID chip, to be implanted under your skin.
Did you hear that? I'm going to back it up. Probably going to back it up twice. This is a very important thing that he said, and that proves that we've been telling you the truth. This is the end game, and it's coming. That's why everything is getting ready to go digital. This is the new world order, and this proves this actually proves that we got it right. Starting at the apostles and elders, a great millstone that we learn from, and the Spirit put the Spirit on them to bring out this, the prophecies, to go through the prophecies and tell you what's going to happen before it happened. And all the people that bucked up against this, they're going to look stupid. A lot of people that said this was a crazy conspiracy theory, Jake get into that word without even understanding what the word conspiracy theory means. That's how stupid they is. But this proves everything that we've been saying is true. You got an insider that actually telling you verbatim what we've been saying through the Spirit of the Lord. And it's coming. Backed up again. This is just very, very jaw-dropping information that he's laying down. And we've been convinced of this. We know this is the truth through the Spirit of the Lord. The Lord put it in our spirit to understand, to get it before all this information even came out. We had to roll our faith. And, but the Lord's so cold, he's showing the doubters, because he know our people are weak in faith at times, tangible proof that what we saying and what he put in his book is true. Check this out.
Aiming at, several central banks have, like the Bank of England, already prepared their microchip implant RFID chip to be implanted under your skin.
Boom. I'm gonna do it one more time, because the so-called false king of England, King so-called Charles, just made a big announcement that I'm gonna get into that video as well. So this thing is getting ready to go down, and that's why everything is headed to straight chaos, and it's gonna catch people off guard. When this stuff starts to roll out, you're not gonna have any privacy. You're not gonna have they want full control. You know what I'm saying? That's the end game for them to do, roll out this um, RFID tech, micro CHIP, so they can have have slavery over your soul. Play this again.
And why is the sudden discussion about universal basic income from all the grassroots and inverted commas movements and billionaires? Oh, universal basic income is the bribe for you to accept the microchip.
You heard that? The UBI, which if you don't know what UBI is, it's the universal basic income. That's why they're crashing out this system. They're purposely doing this. They wanted to bring people to their knees so they could come begging for a solution. Remember, Ordo out of chaos. Order out of chaos. It's how these devils get down. Back it up. Let me back it up. Play that again.
The Bank of England already prepared their microchip implant RFID chip to be implanted under your skin. And why is the sudden discussion about universal basic income from all the grassroots and inverted commas movements and billionaires? Oh, universal basic income is the bribe for you to accept the microchip.
Boom. Check mate. It don't get no clearer than that. That's emphatic. That's in your face. It's undeniable. It's going down. So let me get into this other video of this other devil. Give me 1 second. So I'm going to play this short. Check this out.
My ministers will also proceed with the introduction of digital ID that will modernize how citizens interact with public services.
You heard that?
My ministers will also proceed with the introduction of digital ID that will modernize.
So basically, going back, I'm going to get to the scripture.
Citizens interact with public.
Give me 1 second. I didn't want to play the whole thing, but you get the gist of it. That guy broke it down, so a baby can get it. So it's no excuse. So if no one is warning you about this, they're not coming in the true name of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. They're not teaching you the truth, right? And even some of you so-called, you Edomites that go into, you try to understand this prophecy. Yeah, you get it. You get some stuff right, but a lot of stuff you get wrong. Because Christians, the Edomite Christians that's somewhat studious, they read the Bible literal anyway. So everything they come across is going to be literal to them, right? So this is one of those prophecies. It's literal. It's basically a literal prophecy. It ain't coded. It ain't written no allegory. It's not written on parabolic. It's a literal prophecy. Revelation 13 and 16. And he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. They go your Neuralink. Let's keep going. It says Revelation 13 and 17. So all these other doctrines, all these other philosophies, right? All these other religions, they they're not telling you what's really going on. They're not telling you the truth because they false. This is the only record, our book, that's telling, narrating life in itself from the past, present, and the future. Revelation 13 and 17. So they go to show you that all these other religions and philosophies are all lies, confusion. How can the Bible predict this years, so many hundreds of years ahead of time if it wasn't the truth? Revelation 13 and 17. And no man might buy or sell, save he had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Buy or sell. Dealing with services as that devil, King so-called Charles, said, going back into what the guy Richard Wiener or Warner said, however you pronunciate it. Tomato. Right? So let's go here. Let's do some investigation. Let's analyze the scripture a little bit deeper. So when you go into this word mark, that's why you have to look words up. So Revelations 13, right where I just came from, receive a mark. And it goes into the Greek word charagma. All right. So when you go into the Greek word charagma, it don't give you too much, but I'm gonna show you something. It says a stamp, an imprinted mark. It says of a mark stamped on the forehead. Nope, it's not gonna be that. It's gonna be right here, charagma. And it says for the same as G 5482. It says a scratch or etching. So let's go deeper. So when you go into carax, it goes back into a pale or stake. So John the Revelator was seeing people get microchipped. This is what he saw. So first I'm going to show you a pale or a stake so you can see that first. And I want you to look at the tip of it. Let this load up. So you see that. It looks like a syringe, a needle, right? It's a stake. So this is what he saw. Right here. Look at that. It looks the same as a stake. That micro CHIP needle, just like a stake or a palisade, or, going back here. It says a pale or a stake. It says a palisade. Well, you get it. You should get it. All right. So this is what this is talking about. So let's go back here. Revelations 13 and 17. Revelation 13 and 17. And no man might buy or sell save he had the mark, the charagma, which I showed you what that goes back into, the charax, which is a needle or a stake, a stake or a palisade. When you go into how that looks, it looks like a needle syringe. So this is what he was seeing, people get microchipped. If you get that, you're going to be ultimately destroyed. And what they're going to do, they're going to do and shock you, because a lot of people still they're not getting it. It's not registering to them until it's going to be too late. And they're going to be so overwhelmed, they're going to panic and they're going to take it. The Lord going to destroy them. Right? So that's why you've been given a briefing, a heads up of what's to come. And I can go deeper into this, but I just want to keep it simple. Right? Hopefully this lesson was edifying. Call Allah Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah Bahashim Rachak Kodash. Shalom.